Today we're going to be going over the differences between two native roses, the Nootka rose and the BaldHip rose. We actually have 3 native rose species, but I only have 2 on my property. The third one lives in swampy environments. The bark on all the roses can be greenish or reddish. All of the species have alternate buds. Both of the species I'm showing you today will have singular hips, whereas the third species will have hips appear in clusters of 3 to 5. In the winter, the hip will turn blackish. Here's an example of one that is half red and half black, but you still may see some of them that are red and some that are entirely black. The easiest way to tell them apart is by looking at the remnant fruit. The Nootka rose has the largest hip of the 3 native species, and its sepals will still be attached. Another distinguishing characteristic of the Nootka rose is that it has the largest of the thorns, and you will see them in pairs underneath the nodes. The thorns are sturdy and enlarged at the base. This is the BaldHip rose. You see how the thorns on the BaldHip rose are smaller, they look like prickles, they're denser at the base than they are at the top. You see it has alternate red buds. But the easiest way you can distinguish this from the Nootka rose is by the hip. And I was fortunate in this one to find one that's still red. It has a smaller hip and it has no sepals, which means it's a bald hip. Another plant that could be confused with the BaldHip rose is the salmonberry, because the salmonberry also has similar thorns, but the salmonberry has an orangish stem, whereas the BaldHip rose has a green or red stem. Also, the salmonberry has different leaf buds. The rose has smaller reddish pink or green buds.